All right. So all these contain like a kernel of truth, right? Yes. Property tax breaks will be paid for by Maricopa County and Tempe residents. They'll be paid for in sales tax overlays on the district.
Right. If they show up
if
at the
you
district.
show up and you're spending money there, then yeah, some 49% of your sales tax will go to pay down bonds and help with construction. If you don't show up there, then not a single dime will be paid out of your pocket. So the idea that, you know, the city is going to, or the residents of Tempe are going to be on the hook for nearly $600 million just isn't, it certainly is misleading.
Yeah.
Right. And the idea that because they're getting a tax break on property taxes, which by the way, the property produces zero revenue right now, that will have to, they will have to make up that in some other tax on residents isn't correct either, because again, the property produces zero tax now, and there's not these additional taxes that come up with this phantom number. So that's a little disappointing. The idea that we're giving taxing authority to someone who can just go and raise your taxes arbitrarily certainly isn't true. And all this stuff is available online that anyone can just kind of read through it.
Let's reiterate that. Yeah.
And see, like, I've never had, we've never had a development and disposition agreement in full black and white posted for the full public to be able to read and digest. So the next slide, you got it right
Reason
here.
to, yep.
Okay, so this is upsetting to me personally because I've been attacked by this group. Look, we can disagree with each other without engaging in the politics of character assassination. You know, we don't have to call the guy a grifter. We don't have to pretend like he's some shisty man who somehow fell ass backwards, excuse me, into his billions of dollars. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Morello is a very successful businessman who works in TV, in casinos. He has all kinds of other industries, which are all heavily regulated. This isn't an industry where you can rip people off. You can't have a slot machine that just takes your money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So the idea that you know, we're getting hoodwinked, and the council, the DRC and the staff and the council are all fools who just can't see it. You know, I know that offends 100% of my colleagues, whether or not they're enthusiastic supporters or not. So I'm not sure that's the best approach.
And you have vetted. Let's be clear. You have vetted Alex Morello. You did an incredibly detailed vetting of Alex Morello. By the way, so has Arizona State University before they entered into that agreement at Mullen Arena.
100%. And you know, the idea that they opened up their entire books to our city staff. I'll tell you something about our city staff. Our CFO, Tom Dunsing, is from the city of Glendale, and he had to deal with the mess that was with the old ownership in the arena with the city of Glendale. This man was incredibly skeptical when the Coyotes came a-knocking. And he'd be the first to tell you that. End of the day, you talk to him, and he's incredibly proud of this deal that has been put together. So this is the stuff that does actually bother me. And I know now that I've said that, there'll be an email. It'll be a black and white grainy picture of me mid-sneeze, no doubt. You know, calling me a traitor to the city and everything. And that's okay. That's a job I signed up for. But we don't need to be, you know, residents are being attacked and stuff now. And I do want to speak to this quote from the mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor voted for the project, right? They put this quote on there as if to indicate that the mayor is against this, right? There's no reason that you read this and you're not saying, okay, the mayor is supportive. It sounds like the mayor is saying this can't be done, right? That's not what he said at all. And you know, in his public meeting, you see him and when we passed it, he says, this is the best sports arena deal in Arizona's history. And while I agree with that, I will say, I'll go one higher. I think this is the best arena deal in the nation's history. When you look at the liability to taxpayers, zero. You know, the general funding from taxpayers, zero. It just doesn't, that slide in particular is upsetting.
Did you want to see slides 3 and 4?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's roll through it. Okay.
The email's already going to go out.
Right.
Worsening traffic, sure. I mean, this actually is a concern that I know the whole council shares, because the neighborhood around there will see increased traffic flow. Downtown Tempe already has traffic problems. So yeah, this is something that I can fully get on board with. And I know the Coyotes have a traffic mitigation plan. I will say this, Tempe, more than any other city, are experts in moving people in and out of our downtown. We have Sun Devil Stadium there. The Cardinals used to play there. We have all kinds of special events. We just had the Rock and Roll Marathon, or maybe it was and we have a lot of marathons. It was one of many marathons, right? And we're having the Innings Festival come up. So this is not something that we're not capable of handling, but it is that in particular is a concern that I do think will have to be addressed in the long term. No contributions to affordable housing, demonstrably false. They gave in money to our affordable housing trust fund. Nothing more to say about that. Targets ASU students for online and in-person gambling. I mean, anyone with a smartphone can gamble.
Right.
It's not like it's just.
Yeah, it's so accessible.
It's
now.
already there. It's already ubiquitous.
And there's clearly not targeted campaigning for ASU students. Hey,
And look, whether you like gambling or not, I understand. And if that wasn't the case, that it was already ubiquitous. That, I mean, the show's sponsored by DraftKings. I have DraftKings. It's one of those things that does have a kernel of truth, but isn't being represented in a way that I feel is entirely honest, and fails to improve the quality of life for city residents. There's over $300 million of public benefit of this deal. Oh, I want to talk about, to go back to slide one, the property tax abatement. We can't do that without showing at least an equal public benefit. It's called the gift clause. So we can't say, look, we'll give you all these property tax, abatements, and you come in, you build your thing, and you have to show that you're giving the community back at least that equal amount. Otherwise, you're in violation of the gift clause. And when you violate the gift clause, the Goldwater Institute sues you. Goldwater Institute is fine with this deal because the city is getting much more out of it than the abatement. Mm-hmm. And what reason for? We can design a better deal. Well, again, the land's been empty since 1874. I'm not a believer in the so-called opportunity cost. So what are we missing out on? I don't see anything more substantial than a $2.5 billion privately financed entertainment district is going to come knocking. And if they were, where have they been the last 150 years?